Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey, I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're looking at, this is a final theory video, okay? This is the last one because Stranger Things Series 4 Volume 2 comes out tomorrow. I cannot wait. But first, before we jump into the amazing theories that you guys have written in the comments of my videos, I just want to say thank you because I've finally reached 100,000 subscribers. So, yeah. I managed to do it with time to spare just before the 10-year mark on October 12th of this year. And it just feels great that, you know, I always, ever since the start, I was like, I'm going to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I managed to do it. So, yeah, that's insane. That is amazing. So, thank you all so much. And if you're new here, help me get to 200,000. Who knows? Thank you to everyone over on the Facebook as well. If you've come over from the Facebook, because that hit 300,000 yesterday. So I hit 100,000 on YouTube the day before yesterday, and I hit 300,000 on Facebook yesterday. So yeah, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. But anyway, you're here for Stranger Things series. Let's jump into the theories. Okay, here we go. The final theory video before Season 4 Volume 2 comes out tomorrow, and we find out who was right and who was wrong. If you want me to do a video looking back on some of the theories that we covered and see who was right and who was wrong, then do let me know. Okay, so let's start with Bloom. I've been thinking about this since the season started. We don't know a lot about Dustin's dad, which may be used to Vecna's advantage. Dustin is my favourite and would completely crush me, but it makes sense considering a lot of the focus being on him. He's always been brave and he might just give his life. We're not going back into, you know, the fact that Dustin will die because we did that in the previous video, but I never even thought about the fact that we haven't really seen Dustin's dad. And obviously Vecna likes to use trauma, and maybe the fact that Dustin's dad isn't around is traumatic. So yeah, that's a great point. It is a great point. Abril Salazar says, everyone is focused on one or two characters dying, but in the trailer for Volume 2, Vecna tells Eleven, your friends have lost. My theory is that the ones shown in the Upside Down, Steve, Nancy, Robin, Dustin and Eddie, all die. Eleven doesn't make it back to Hawkins in time to save them. I believe she might defeat Vecna when she gets there, but not be able to save those that were in the Upside Down. If you think about it, this will impact all of the remaining characters. Now, time has been a main focus this season, with Clock's and Vecna's and Eleven's speeches on how they view time. Since this show is based on the 80s and all the references of the 80s pop culture, I believe they are setting up to make reference to Back to the Future. I believe Season 5 will focus on time traveling and figuring out how to go back and save all the friends they lost. It'll give the ending of Season 4 a bittersweet feel like it did in Season 1, where they were all saved, but they were thought Eleven was dead. So in this case, they will have defeated Vecna, but at the cost of having lost basically half the group. This would give more excitement to Season 5 instead of a rematch between Eleven and Vecna, since Season 4 seems to be leading up to their rematch. Season 5 will be more suspenseful in figuring out time travel and the ability to save their friends. Back to the Future 2 was released in 1989, which would be close to the time jump the creators are stating, and in Back to the Future 2, they have to go back to 1955 to fix the events of 1985, and the Victor Creel incident happened in 1959. And Stranger Things Season 4 is currently happening in 1986. So I think it's kind of similar. I don't think they would be focused and put so much emphasis on time if they were not planning on using time travel in a way on the show. Maybe through the different portals. As we noticed, the Upside Down is frozen in 1983, so maybe there is a way to go into different timelines. I know everyone associates the time with Will being sucked into the Upside Down, but I also wondered if it was the same year that Vecna got banished to the Upside Down by Eleven in their first fight. No, that was 1979. Maybe Eleven has the power to open different types of portals. Maybe there's something she spends the next few years in the show doing, opening up Season 5 with her finally figuring it out. Okay, so here's my thoughts on that. First of all, thank you so much for commenting. I think you may be right for two reasons. Number one, yes, there are a lot of time themes. Number two, if you've seen my recent video on the Montauk Project and how that inspired Stranger Things, the Montauk Project came about because of the Philadelphia Project. And the Philadelphia Project allegedly not only transversed space but also transversed time. And in the Montauk Project, they talk about how it created a time vortex between 1943 and 1983 with an anchor point in 1963. So if they are going to draw fully from the inspiration of the Montauk Project, it would only be natural that they draw on the time travel element as well. And the fact that maybe not necessarily being 20-year anchor points, but maybe there are certain anchor points in time, which is why it's suspended in 1983. However, is the Upside Down copying 1983, or is the Upside Down in 1983? Because obviously when they're doing the electric board thing to communicate with Dustin and stuff from the Upside Down, it's going forward to 1986. Or are they just in the Upside Down, but the Upside Down looks like 1983, if that makes any sense? I don't really know, but we'll find out. But there was also an amazing comment that I don't think is on this video. And forgive me if you're out there, because you know who you are. I was reading so many comments last night because obviously, there's so many people congratulating me on 100,000, which I really appreciate. Thank you to all of you. And this guy was saying how the Vecna is a lich, and a lich needs a phylactery to continue living. It's like an object that ties them to the mortal realm type thing. And in order to truly kill a lich, you have to kill the phylactery. And he was saying how the grandfather clock that we see everywhere could be Vecna's phylactery, could be Vecna's, it's a bit like Harry Potter with Voldemort and his, what are those things? Horcruxes. So imagine that the grandfather clock is Vecna's Horcrux, basically, is what someone was saying. I don't know how I even got onto that. Oh, that was it. That was why I got to that, because everyone's saying the focus on time and stuff. I think it could be a red herring. I think that the grandfather clock is that, implying time travel. It could just be showing his phylactery in plain sight, because it's such an integral part to him. I don't know why it's an integral part to him, but yeah, that is just a theory. And forgive me, please, that I don't have your name. I don't think you're on this video. I think you're on a different video. Thank you for that amazing theory. And also thank you to Abril for this great theory too. Kenneth Zappler says, besides the possible deaths, I have a feeling that the end of Season 4 might be a full takeover of Hawkins by the Upside Down, because so many gates exist that the monster's atmosphere can slip through everywhere, and they are now essentially merged. That's what I want to see. That is 100% what I want to see. Hawkins is one massive gate. That would set up Season 5 very well, with a feeling of epic defeat and new motive to stop to the Upside Down from spreading to take over the entire world. It would be cool to see a long journey through the Upside Down defied world, with her references to dark 80s fantasies like Neverending Story, Labyrinth, or Dark Crystal's got a comment. Yes, says Chronically Kelly. I've been thinking along these same lines. There we go. Mr. Jarrett is Beast says, I've been thinking about Vecna from D&D. In D&D, there is the Hand of Vecna and the Eye of Vecna, which are super powerful magical items. Maybe Vecna is the father or originator of power of Eleven and Callie. Eleven being the Hand of Vecna, since she has strong telekinesis, and Callie being the Eye, since she can make visions like him. I think it would be interesting to see Vecna lose his right arm, since he is described as having only his left hand and arm. What are the comments on this one? That's why they were in the same room together. Callie was abducted from London, though. I thought about this, but it's possible that her mother was a participant in the Hawkins lab and was then abducted back after showing talent. It's a loophole, I'm sure. I think Vecna is Eleven's biological father. I think it would be interesting if Vecna was Eleven's biological father, or like an inseminated, using Eleven's mother, and then IVF inseminating her or whatever with the semen of Vecna, basically. By the way, I'm just saying, I am actually looking to get into D&D after all of this. I just feel like it's right up my street. I've played World of Warcraft my whole life, and I just feel like D&D is the evolution of that, and I just think I'd really enjoy it. So yeah, that's what I'm currently seeking out. All or Nothing Productions says, I think Eddie will die in a big way. It's only a little theory. Several conversations have set Eddie up as not really being the tough guy people think he is. He mentions in the Upside Down that something he's learned about himself is that when he's in danger, he turns tail and runs. Also in the Upside Down, he tells Steve how Nancy and Robin didn't hesitate to dive through Watergate to save him. Eddie says that's something he would never do. So given Eddie's almost false persona as the tough guy and these two conversations, I think there will be a big decisive moment for him where he gets to redeem himself. He'll get a chance to make a choice to stay and fight or run. I think he'll choose to fight and ultimately sacrifice himself. To further back this up, how are they actually going to clear his name of the murders? That would involve revealing the entire Upside Down to everyone and possibly mean revealing 11 too. There's no way the murders can be explained without doing that, so unless they intend on putting everything out there, the best course of action is for Eddie to die a hero to those who matter. He's a pretty well loved character by now, but he's still a pretty expendable character. His death will create division and tension in Hawkins. I think him and Steve will start to get on more after Eddie's death. Steve will realise he was a pretty good guy all along, which will leave a lasting effect on Steve. Eddie's death will leave a lasting effect on Mike and Dustin for obvious reasons. The town will hate him and be glad the murderer is gone dead, while all of our main characters will know the truth for a little added dramatic irony. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad theory at all. But I say, why not both? Why not have Eddie sacrifice himself so he is a hero, and the Upside Down and Vecna gets revealed to everyone, so not only do they realise that Eddie was innocent, they also realise that he sacrificed himself as well. So he's a hero. An innocent hero. Morgan says, I'll cry if this happens, I love Eddie too much. Rough Magic says, I've never thought about it this way, but you got me convinced. Mikey Sanson. Alright, here's a couple of theories. Number one, I've said it before, I think Lucas will die and Erica will see it happen the way Max watched Billy die. Max will then take Erica under her wing and try to help her cope with the loss of her brother, which will also help her. Maybe she'll even read the letter she wrote to him aloud or something. If Max dies, that's a lot of letters to go over, and I think the one meant for Lucas is the most important. Erica has also already replaced Lucas in the D&D party campaign in the Hellraisers Club. Obviously, Erica will stab Vecna in the back somehow. Number two, Steve is the D&D character Kaz. I think, like Hopper in Season 3, Steve will have to have a fake-out death. Kaz in D&D disappears with Vecna. Vecna leaves behind an eye and hand. Kaz leaves behind a sword, which may be Steve's nail bat, that Dustin will inherit. That's pretty cool. I like that one a lot. A small one, before Steve does a selfless sacrifice... Hang on, what happened to Steve being Kaz? Anyway... Before Steve does a selfless sacrifice, Nancy, like in Season 1, will say, Steve Harrington, you're an idiot, to which he'll respond, and you're beautiful, Nancy. I will die if that happens. If that dialogue happens, I will die. The big one. The hand and the eye of Vecna are figurative. The hand represents Elle and her ability of telekinesis, which is only one of his abilities. Callie represents the eye of Vecna because she, like him, can make people see extremely vivid hallucinations. Callie is also the only kid in the lab with these powers. Together they will show Vecna his own trauma and the love he could have had, beating him with the cliched love is stronger than hate gimmick. The problem with Callie is that episode, what is it, Season 2, Episode 6, I think? That is the most hated episode in the whole of Stranger Things, and I think that the Duffer Brothers probably would distance themselves from that whole thing. There's been a lot of comments saying Callie's going to turn up, Callie's going to turn up, she represents the eye of Vecna, blah blah blah. Which she does, she clearly does. I just can't see them retreading a character. Not necessarily the character was hated, just that episode. Because it just pulled us out of the story completely, didn't it? For an episode. Especially as the previous episode shows like all the Demodogs and stuff like about to disperse on the earth, and Hopper and stuff, and then it's just like, oh okay, let's go over here for a bit. But yeah, I can't see them bringing Callie back. I could be wrong. Skinner Crypto says, here's something I haven't seen anyone talk about. Well, now we're talking about it. How in the hell did the light bright scene happen? A light bright is just a light bulb behind a pegboard. They treated the translucent coloured pegs as individual LEDs. That's not how a light bright works. Anybody know? If anybody knows, let Skinner Crypto know. Okay, Ram R. Theory number 1. Vecna's left hand will play a major role in defeating him in the game D&D. Vecna's left hand and eye are two of the most powerful relics you can get, and Vecna's left hand in the show is not only bigger than his right, but is also the hand he puts over Max's face or any time he uses his power, he uses his left hand. I feel like they have to target his left hand specifically to beat him, potentially making him less powerful. Also, I think it's fun that they made Vecna a lefty because he is compared to a demon and is the closest thing to the devil. Also, in many old documents, Satan is noted as being a southpaw. Also, it was believed that lefties were accused of practicing witchcraft. Maybe this is why Vecna is so powerful. Theory number 2, I believe Mike dies. He is the only one who is truly connected to the entire group. Also, we know that Will and Mike are very close. Even the potential of Will liking Mike. Also, his whole assholery scene makes me think this because he might have died without apologising to Elle. Also, he is the only character that someone actively competes for friendship with in Season 1. Dustin says, "It's fine, I get it. He's been your neighbour all your life and I moved here in the 2nd grade. And Mike responds with, "No, you're my best friend too." Also, everyone seems very sad in the trailer. Only answer to me is if Mike dies or they fake his death because of how connected he is to the whole group. Also, a reason I think this because 11 is now part of the Nina project, and Nina, as said by Brenner, is about a girl whose lover was killed in a duel and it traumatised her. Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's potentially very relevant. Theory 3, I also think that Dustin dies because outside of 11 he is their best help because of how smart he is. I think he dies trying to save Eddie because in the trailer we see him yelling, and I think he's saying he tries to save Eddie, dying in the process, and Steve sees this and it's like at the end of Infinity War with Peter and Tony. Edit, I also doubt that Joe cutting his hair means anything because he has like a year to grow it back. Good point, good point. Yeah, great theories there. Okay, here are my thoughts, my closing thoughts, right? I do think the Upside Down is entirely in Henry Creel's image, in Vecna's image. Yes, it was a dimension before he got there, obviously, but I don't think it had any, other than like the mountains and shit, I don't think it had any like purpose. Do you know what I mean? And he manifested his ideal world in that place. I think Vecna is the main villain. I don't think that he's going to lose this season. I think he's going to win. I do think Steve is going to die. I think he is going to lose his hand and his eye though, Vecna, as it's so prominent in D&D. I do think that perhaps the grandfather clock is his phylactery. It is key to destroying him completely. And I hope they don't do time travel. A time jump into an apocalyptic, upside down, right side up world, yes, absolutely. But a time jump back, I hope they don't draw that element from the Montauk project. Personally, this has been so fun, guys. Doing these theory videos has been amazing. Obviously, it helped me get over 100k, which means the world to me. And it's just been nice, you know, to change up my content a little bit and have you guys really enjoy it. And obviously have all the new, you know, subs come over and join the community. It's just been great. So I really want to thank you personally for that. I'm going to review Season 4, Volume 2, give my thoughts, and do a video on like who was right with their theories, who was wrong, did we get anything right at all. And then obviously, naturally, there's going to be theories into Season 5 and stuff like that, because I just love Stranger Things, and I feel like this channel should reflect the things that I love doing. You know, I love true crime, I love conspiracies. I'm a nerd. So I love Stranger Things, I love my shows, you know what I mean? I love my horror movies and stuff, so you're probably going to see more stuff like this on this channel, you know? But how I think I'm going to work it, just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, Mondays and Wednesdays are like my main uploading days, and I think that's when I'm going to do my true crime videos, I'm going to do my paranormal videos, my investigations on the Mondays and Wednesdays. But Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm opening up to videos like this, you know, different types of content. So, you know, I'm not trading out the old content for new stuff. I'm just adding new stuff, you know. I haven't done a true crime video in about a month. They are returning. Full disclosure, I found doing true crime every single week was actually having an effect on my mental health, because, you know, it's dark stuff, it's depressing stuff. I'm happy to do it, but I'm going to do it more sparingly. I'm going to mix in, you know, fun paranormal stuff. I'm going to mix in fun conspiracies. So it's not all doom and gloom. I found this, you know, I'm a happy-go-lucky, funny guy. And my passion and my job became a bit doom and gloom. So there will still be true crime, just not as consistently. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thanks again for 100k. It's amazing. And I will see you all very soon. I do videos every week over on Patreon where I just kind of break down what I'm going to be doing this week and all that sort of stuff. If you want to check that out and support me, you can do that for as little as £1 a month. So it's just like bonus content. I also stream over on Twitch at the minute. I'm doing a Resident Evil 3 run through. That's really fun. So yeah, plenty of ways to find me if you want to. But the main thing is that you watch this channel and you subscribe and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And I will see you soon. See ya. Sweet one, guys.